Susie Baskin. This is my husband, Steve Baskin, and we are the owners and directors of Camp Champions. Every year, we come into the homes of camp families and families who want to learn more about Camp Champions, and we have kind of a question and answer session, and we talk about what we feel makes Camp Champions different. We know so many of you want to come to these sessions, but can't fit it in your schedule. So this is our new digital home party. We start every home party by talking about the transformative powers of camp and why we've devoted our lives to the summer camp experience and its youth development potential.
Both of us love camp, but we fell in love for different reasons. I fell in love as a camper. Susie fell in love as a parent. And my story takes us all the way back to Midland, Texas, when I was 8 years old. And if you know anything about Midland, you know that there are only two sports that matter: football and spring football. And I was the younger brother of the star football player. My brother was small, 5'8", but he was the all-district center and captain of the football team, to a point that the winning float at the homecoming parade was a 16-foot Mighty Mouse with his jersey on it, because his nickname was Mighty Mouse, because he often blocked people twice his weight. I was 10 years younger, and everyone wanted me to be the next Mighty Mouse. And they would send me out to practice, forgetting one important fact, that I was a chronic asthmatic who's allergic to Bermuda grass. So every practice was an asthma attack. But I was okay with that. But what I struggled with was people looking at me like I was a failure. You'll never measure up to Mighty Mouse. And I'll be honest, I began to think of myself as a failure. And that summer, my parents sent me to camp. And they sent me completely against my will. I did not want to go. And I didn't think I had the capability to survive for 5 weeks without them. And I arrived at camp terrified. I didn't want to be there. I was hoping something would happen that would bring me back. But in that moment, as I arrived, something remarkable happened. A young man, 19 or 20, got down on his knees, who was right at my eye level, and he smiled at me, and he said, "You must be Steve. I'm Bill, and I get to be your counselor. You know, the rest of the guys are back in the cabin, and they've been waiting all day for you to get here, but now that you're here, we're going to have the best summer ever." He grabs me by the hand, and he takes me down. And for the next 5 weeks, every encounter I had with Bill sent me the message that his life was made complete, because this skinny, asthmatic kid from Midland, Texas was in his life. And when I came home, I never worried about playing football again. And I came home knowing it wasn't just okay, it was spectacular to be Steve. And ever since then, I've been wanting to find ways to give other children those kind of experiences that let them know that they are precious and special with huge potential, just as Bill had given me that gift many years ago.
Well, Steve fell in love with the camp as a child, and when he talks about camp, it makes me wish that I'd had a chance to go to camp, but I didn't. And so I ended up falling in love with camp as a parent of campers. Steve and I have 4 children, and they're all different, and camp has done for them things that we have tried to do in our lives. But camp helped us achieve those things. For example, our oldest children, they're boys, twin boys. One tends to be somewhat dominant, and the other a little more passive. And I have tried to embrace each and have each grow in confidence. But it really took their going to camp to make this happen. Our bossier son grew in his ability to be diplomatic and listen to other people and become a team player. Our more passive son learned to become more extroverted. Without his brother there, he had to push himself. He had to initiate friendships. And that first summer they came back from camp, I was amazed that camp had done what I had tried to do. We also have 2 daughters, one who is 2 years younger than her twin brothers and another one 5 years younger than that. Our middle daughter, as the typical middle child kind of gets along with everyone, I had really had a chance to shine at camp and be herself. And our youngest had an additional set of challenges. She's dyslexic, and for her, camp provided an opportunity where she wasn't struggling and she could shine in her own way. She found out that she's great at archery and referee and really embraced those skills and grew very proud of herself. For us, camp, we'll talk about this later, but for us, camp is really a partnership because these counselors, they know what we want for our children. Through a series of communication with you and your counselor, you'll tell them in advance what your goals are. We can together work and make these things true for your children and help them develop into their full potential. So as mom, seeing these things for my kids that I've wanted to do, it was such a powerful experience for me and for them.